the starter relay is right here in this position. Okay. And what I've done is I've taken the cover off. See, there's two tabs that hold it on here, and over on the other side are two little small tabs, and you have these holes. So the challenge is to get a small piece of metal or plastic that's very thin up in there to push the tabs away from the holes on both sides. So use your imagination. I've used a knife, and so don't hurt yourself though, and you're going to need a pair of long nose to pull it out. Okay, so once it's out though, then it goes like this, and this is the relay armature right here that pushes in, and these two terminals are the contacts, which are located here. These two are the relay coil that energizes when you turn the key. Now I'm going to just push this in without pushing that. If you try to do this with your and you actually hit that, you're going to hear the engine try to crank. Now I don't have the key on. This is what I'm trying to show you, that you can test if your starter and the starter solenoid is good. When I push on this, it should make a cranking sound. See, it won't crank because the key is totally off. There's power on the starter solenoid all the time. So all you have to do is this relay has to operate and it's ready to fire. You can do this. I'm going to make this even easier on you. Now, let me just look. Now, what you can do is this. You see these two terminals right here? Watch when I put a short on them. I don't have a bit of trouble with my starter. But if you take this vehicle in with this problem, chances are they're going to say your starter is intermittently not working. They don't know about this test. You know about it, so you test your starter. I found this problem back in December of 2012. Now the history is, sometimes it would not start, it would just click. I got to investigate and I said, I'm going to try this relay. I pulled it out, bought a new relay, popped it in. I didn't have any more trouble. It went that way for maybe 4 or 5 months, and then all of a sudden it started again clicking. So I went out and bought a new relay. Sure enough, everything, taking the old one out and popping a new one in, fixed it. Well, I figured the relay was the problem. And everything went along for about 3 or 4 years. I didn't have a bit of trouble until just recently, and it started doing the same thing of clicking. So I've gotten in here and I have 2 videos. One is 05 Jeep Grand Cherokee starting problem, and then that was made in 2012. Then after I discovered that it was an intermittent trouble, that's when I took the relay apart and created a 05 Jeep Grand Cherokee intermittent starting problem. Now everybody is watching that and seeing how to isolate the trouble. I didn't know the trouble was going to come back, and it did. So it's not the relays. I thought it was the relays. I thought they were bad relays. But now I think it's the starting coil and from the ignition switch up to here. I'm thinking since I can just change the relay out, I believe there's a defect in this terminal assembly that is creating resistance or something. A lot of people are having trouble, so it's not just a unique little problem at one time. This is a problem in this holder, I believe, and I can't get to it. I've tried. So what I'm doing is making an emergency way of starting your vehicle if you get into a situation where all you hear is clicks and you need to go. So this is going to be your fix to get away from that problem. It's very simple to do. Okay, I've made me, I put about 6 to 8 feet of wire, 2 wires, and I put these little spade clips on there that will fit right on here and screw each side. But before I do that, I'm going to take the other end of it and secure it to this and pull it back so that the spade tips are in that way, in the compartment where I can mount this, this switch. Okay, now I take these and get to the end of them, kind of put them together. And I'll put one down a little bit more than the other, pull me off some painter's tape. Painter's tape is easier to get off than black tapes, and it holds strong. So I'm going to wrap this around, trying to follow that contour. And I'm going to click her there, and try not to get any hooking edges if you can. Try her. All right, you watch that, and I'll go around and see what I can get. Okay. See, I've got to put that boot back in. That's the problem, but I can do it, and I may have to slice that a little bit. You may have to put one wire at a time, because it looks like that was the big issue, is trying to pull them both through at the same time. So I'm gonna let you work with that issue, but that is just a matter of collapsing that, and I'll pop her back in and everything will be cool. Okay, and we can also put a little silicone around there if we needed. Now what we're going to do is, I tried different ways of figuring out how to connect these terminals with the wires, but there's no safe way to do it. We'd really need to be able to find the 2 wires and connect these wires to those, and everything would work great. You're going to use these when all else fails. You're out somewhere, you turn the starter or the key, and all you hear is click, 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 and it just will not start. This is something you can do. Hook up, and your little push button will help you, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Now, have your wires already treated, and you'll just store these somewhere down below, and when you do need it, you make sure all the wires are, you don't need this much, but I'm going to use it. It doesn't matter which wire you put into these little slots. Those are the contacts right there, or they go to the starter solenoid. So you push, nothing will happen just pushing them in, because the push button isn't operated. So you want the push button on the other end, and we may have to get a terminal on there that we can stick in. That would be the real good way to do it. And I'll probably do that, because this looks like it could give you a little trouble. Okay? So if you put a spade clip in there, that'll probably work. And let's see, there, and then put this one, make sure they don't touch, put this one in this side. Okay. Okay, all the way down. Okay, now let's go to what I have is the starter switch. The one I just put in is just hanging there, but I'm going to show you what will happen when I push the button and what I have to do with the key. But you have these 2 in. If they were shorted, you'd hear the engine trying to crank. So this is not the case. Now, it's off right now. No dash lights at all, but look, watch. When I push this, you're going to hear the starter start. There's no relay in there. I just have the 2 wires, so I'm just shorting those 2 terminals. That means my starter and solenoid are good, as I explained. Now, what you do is you turn the key on, and then I turn it all the way to the start position, and then I'm going to depress this, and as soon as I hear it start, I'm going to let go of that. So I go over, there you go, and then let go of the key and you're good to go. This is going to be mounted right up there, and whenever this happens, I'm ready to go. I won't get stranded. So there you have it. So you don't really need the relay in there to get it started. Then later, you can, when you get home, put a new relay in or wiggle it around. I think it's a matter of wiggling the relay and pulling it up and down. Sometimes rocking it will do the job. So I'm going to go out there and put the relay back in, take those 2 wires out and put them over to the side. Those 2 wires are not going to cause any problem, but it would be better if you put a spade clip that would go down in there much easier, and then you find a place to store them. You don't even really have to hook this up if you don't want to drill something. Just have it handy where you can do this.